G'day guys, how you going? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sean, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a tutorial because we're all in quarantine. It's the 4th of April, and if you mentioned, this is a start to finish guide on using the Logitech Capture software to manually control your webcam settings. So the one that I'm using that you can see on the screen at the moment is the Logitech Brio. Ones like the C920, 1080p Pro Stream, C922, Brio 4K, Brio Stream. So they're really the cameras that give you more than just one fix. You should be seeing yourself with something similar. We've got the Logitech Brio webcam. Each what you should be, I guess, to be seeing. You want them to be seeing. Choose the presets for what you're doing, but I would recommend setting it to custom, and then the price. So for the source is obviously the camera. That's what you want your audience to be seeing. You want them to be seeing yourself. You can go ahead and manually choose the presets for what you're doing, but I would recommend setting it to custom, and then the priority being frame rate. You want to appear as smooth as possible first, in my opinion, and then adjust all your other settings after that point. For the field of view, my webcam actually does have a 90-degree field of view, so you can see there when we click 90 degrees, it opens right up. If you're not a fan of that, or maybe the background isn't suitable for 90 degrees, you can change it to 78, or you can go ahead and change it to 65. Now, not every webcam is going to have the same field of view as what I have. I personally like 78 for doing this kind of stuff when I'm just recording or talking in a video in your office and where your camera. But that's the cool thing about this program, is you can go ahead and fix that setting inside of the software and it stays, it doesn't change.
I'm about to tell you how to turn this into this. Both of these shots using the same $50 C920 webcam. By the way, huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Owns.tv, all modulars. The channel, and make sure you use code ALPHA. Last video, you know I am frustrated with the webcam industry right now. We've got just incredible new tech in streaming, audio, lights, control, but for some reason we only get a new webcam like every 3 to 5 years, and they feel like they're a decade behind. And by the way, I understand that there are serious hardware limitations to the typical webcam design. When you try to fit a sensor that small and lenses that small together, it's literally impossible to get that natural shallow depth of field. Not to mention so many comments saying, how come the camera that's in my phone, which is smaller, how come that gets a better image than this webcam that's this fat? And you gotta remember, by the way, the processor in your smartphone is so much more powerful than the processor in a cheap webcam. It's just important to recognize that with the current model of webcam technology, it's not going to be possible to get that shallow depth of field. So in the meantime, or at least until someone brings some real innovation to the webcam industry, here's a way to get some faux bokeh, as we're going to call it, or basically fake that shallow depth of field like you saw in the original image. I feel like, by the way, post-production Harris here, I feel like I really missed an opportunity here to call the faux bokeh faux-K. So we're renaming the thing. This is called faux-K. Back to the video. Because yes, that was done entirely on a C920 in real time in OBS. So let me show you how to do this. The secret is like stupid simple. Like, I'm gonna tell you and you're gonna roll your eyes and be like, why did I not think of that? Step 1, find the camera angle that you want to use. Step 2, take a picture of your empty room from that same angle, preferably on a better camera like your smartphone camera. Step 3, throw this image into free software so you can add stuff like adjusting the lighting, adding those cool LED lights that you've always wanted, or of course, adding that background blur. And finally, green screen yourself in front of this image. Make sure, of course, that you light yourself properly, preferably similar to the lighting of the room that you had, so it really sells that natural matching lighting look. That may have even sounded more complicated than it actually was. So let's do this. Let's go step by step. And the first thing I'm going to show you is a simple version that you can do literally right inside OBS. I set up the webcam exactly where I wanted. And then using my phone, I took a picture of the room from that same angle. Now I used the super ultra wide in the new iPhone.
Again, your camera may not have HDR, but I've got HDR, so I can turn that off or on. This is a live preview as well, as you can see, so the application is going to change. Your face is always sharpness, this one with the triangle, sharp corners, it's the sharpness, so you can go ahead and you can see the difference. So dragging it all the way down to 0 makes me seem a little bit more soft. Dragging it all the way up, I seem really grainy. So you just find that happy medium. So we'll go to 120, something like that. And then this one I think is your saturation. So boosting that all the way up, again, gonna be looking a little bit silly. But then if you have it at 0, there's no color. So you've got black and white. If you want to though, you can maybe change it to around about 90. Takes a little bit of color out of the face and body, but that might also be a little bit more natural and a little bit more easy on the eyes as well. So again, just change the settings based on what you like and how you want to appear on camera. Now down the very bottom here, you can see it's got anti-flicker. You can turn it on or off. 50 Hertz or 60 Hertz. You can see the camera slightly changes when I'm switching it. So if you're noticing that with your lights on in the room, if you've got LEDs or fluorescent lights and that they're flickering, sometimes you just need to change it from 60 Hertz to 50 or vice versa and turn that option on or off in order to remove that flicker. There's sometimes just an issue with certain cameras and the frame rate and the lights that you might have in the room. It's trying to focus on your face, and so it flickers in the background because it's having a, hard time trying to differentiate the light from yourself. So just play around with those settings. If you have a chroma key, you can put a green screen. You can set up your chroma key if you want to do that. If I was to set mine as green right now and turn it on, nothing's going to happen because I don't have a green screen in the background. Advanced settings here. Whoops, we'll just turn that one back on. You've got here the option to flip the source around. So if you want to flip it, you can do that. If you want to flip it upside down, you can do that as well. So you've got a bunch of different, you'll see on your webcam what options are available to you. So make sure you go ahead and explore those settings to find the best one for you. Video encoder, this will be different computer to computer. And then you've got an option here for things like a framing grid. If you want to have a little grid on there, you can do that. But just remember, when you have the grid turned on, they will also see the grid. Alright, so now that you've got your webcam dialed in and you're happy with how it looks and how it appears, and you're ready to start streaming or web conferencing, video conferencing, whatever it is that you're doing, you can switch into the application of your choice. So for this tutorial, we're going to go into Skype. With Skype, in your more options and then settings, you should get this little dialog box that I've got currently, and where it says camera, you want to choose Logitech Capture as your source, because we're not choosing the webcam as the source, we're choosing the software which has got all those settings dialed in as your source device for your video. So we've got Logitech Capture selected, not Brio. And then you can see we've got the option here of turning on within Skype the option to blur the background, but we are now looking at the image preview that Logitech Capture is, rendering and then putting out. So the Skype program isn't actually taking control and playing around with the things like the brightness and the white balance and the focus and everything else. The Logitech Capture is doing all of that, and Skype is just going, okay, that's the source, that's what I'm going to put out there. So that way you get better control when you're on those chats, and it looks a lot better, and you're not having to worry about whether or not the setting is going to change or if it's going to lose focus or change the white balance or whatever it might be. Now let me minimize this application and we'll go to GoToMeeting, for example. We'll right click on it and go to Preferences, and similar story, we'll go to the webcam area. and we'll see here that it will load up eventually.
Hello, it's your boy. Testing right now. Testing right now. I don't know why I was so loud before. Literally, I have to turn it like halfway down, otherwise it's blasting loud. Literally, I have to turn it like halfway down, otherwise it's blasting loud. I am still testing. As you like to see, my review of this is I am still testing. As you like to see, my review. Yo. Hello, I am in a TV. So. We in San Francisco, baby. Yes, sir. Oh. Holy Toledo. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. I don't know why it's so loud. I don't know why it's so loud. I don't know why it's so loud.